Hello, welcome to A Few Minutes with Jude. I'm Buddy Pennington, pastor of Westville Assembly of God in Holmes County, Florida. Our lesson tonight, which is number 5, is going to be taken from Jude, verse number 8. Allow me to read that for you now. Likewise, also, these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities. Now, Jude has been writing to his readers and warning them about the false teachers who have crept into their congregations. Now, he has compared them to a rather unsavory group of people in the past in the history of Israel. He compared them to the people who complained and grumbled in the wilderness. He compared them to the angels who had rebelled against God. And he compared them to the people of Sodom and Gomorrah who were doing such evil things. And in this verse, Jude is writing to them and telling the readers that these false teachers are also people who are filthy dreamers. And in other words, they claim some authority from their dreams that they don't really have. They defile the flesh, they despise dominion, and they speak evil of dignities. Now let's take a look very quickly at what these three things are. The defile the flesh means that they live immoral lives. Now you can live an immoral life in many, many ways. You don't have to just be immoral sexually with your activity. You can be immoral by being greedy and by being lustful, by having hatred in your heart, by stealing and coveting things, by lying. You see, there are lots of ways to live an immoral life. And this is one of the categories that Jude is putting these false teachers into. He's saying they're like those other people who rebelled against God. They're leading immoral lives. Now, the second thing that he says about them is that they despise dominion. In other words, they reject authority. Now we have to understand something. All Christians are under the authority of Jesus Christ. And in the church, the members of a congregation are under the authority of the pastor. And these false teachers are rejecting the authority of the bishops, the pastors, the teachers, the apostles. They are claiming that they don't have to do what the leaders of the church will tell them they need to be doing. Folks, that's a drastic rebellion against God's universal plan. He has set things up so that Jesus is the top of the church. Jesus has created pastors and evangelists and apostles and teachers, prophets to be able to lead and guide and equip the church. And these false teachers were not willing to be under their authority. Another grievous sin. And then finally he says they speak evil of dignities. Now these dignities are talking about the glorious ones, the ones that are supernatural beings. And in all likelihood, this could be referring to angels. Now these false teachers are scoffing at supernatural beings. They are making fun of angels. Folks, that is not a very good thing to do, because the Bible explicitly tells us that the angels are messengers from God. They are sent to His children to help them in times of need at times. Sometimes we entertain angels unawares according to Scripture. These false teachers were doing more than just being rebellious. They were in absolute rejection to God's authority. They were living immoral lives. And they were not living with the recognition that there is a supernatural spiritual realm, and that spiritual realm is under the direction of God. This verse really points to just how false these people's doctrines were. In your own life, I want to encourage you about something. Pay attention to how the people who teach you live. Do they live immorally? Do they seem to not be willing to come under subjection of the authorities of the church? Are they people who make fun of the spiritual realm? If they are, then folks, you need to treat them as reprobates and as people who are in rebellion against God. I want to encourage you, stay close to God yourself, whether the people that are trying to teach you do or not, because they are going to be punished and you will be rewarded for your faithfulness to God. It's our prayer that these Bible studies will be a blessing to you. Allow me to encourage you to share them with people that you know who may be also blessed. If you'd like to leave prayer requests or comments, please do so at the end of the blog. Until next time, when we get together for a few minutes with Jude.